You're building the empire
and we'll help you protect it.
because even the most powerful women
Still have trust issues.
Hello, hey, and welcome to Trust Issues. I am one of your hosts. I'm Erica Hall, owner of Wealth Advisors, and here is my sister.
Yes, my sister, Erica. Yes, I am Urenia Ricks Johnson, and I am an estate planning attorney and founder of Ricks and Associates PLLC. And I'm so excited about us with this podcast, and we are talking about building wealth. Not just building wealth, but showing you how to protect it.
Yeah. So we thought we'd come from this angle of, people sometimes have what we consider maybe some trust issues. Just because lack of knowledge, whatever it may be, I think it's a perfect name. So this is the podcast where money meets mindset.
Yes.
It's for power, whatever power you want to accumulate or protect. We want to talk about that on today. And here's the thing. I'm coming from a financial perspective, and Urena's coming from the legal perspective. So I think we'll have most of the gamut covered. Today's episode is so near and dear and special to us because, listen, before we got started, we were sitting around talking with some of our girlfriends.
Yes.
And just, talking about the podcast and talking about what are some of the issues that people have. And someone shared some really good stories. Then it reminded me of some of the things or issues I've had with clients. So let's get right into it. We had some people share some stories. So you mind if I read one of the stories?
Let's read it. Let's get to it.
Okay, I got to put these glasses on.
Okay.
All right. So this says, it's called Bought a House with My Boyfriend and We Broke Up. What do I do? Me and my boyfriend dated for 5 years, and about 3 years ago, we bought a house together. We broke up about 6 months ago, and still live together like roommates. Girl, we have always paid for everything 50-50. Now I just want to get away from him. I want out. I don't know what to do anymore. I need help. Please, someone point me in the right direction. She says we're both under the mortgage and everything, right? Not married, no kids. He has his stuff and I have mine. She said they live in Texas. Somehow I know for a fact he's not going to want to let go of the house, but I want my share and I don't want to do anything. I don't want anything to do with him. We both make around the same income. What can I do? Is there a way I can make him pay me for my share or sell the house? I just want out, but I have a feeling he's not going to make it easy for me to leave. Please help.
Oh, wow.
Oh, my goodness.
This is so heartbreaking, but it's not out of the ordinary.
She's a girlfriend.
Yes,
What rights
do
do girlfriends have rights?
Unfortunately, girlfriends do not have rights. The law, specifically in the state of Michigan, does not recognize common law marriage. And common law is just you live it together.
That still recognize common
Most
law
of the
marriage?
states do not recognize common law marriage.
What is common law marriage?
So common law marriage is you cohabitating together,
living,
acting,
shacking,
living together.
Okay,
but there is no marriage agreement.
Right.
And marriage is a contract.
Okay.
And it's also a legal agreement recognized by your state that you are legally joined together and you have certain rights with that legal documentation.
Okay. So we don't want to get married. I mean, some people who have been married before or just are free spirits, they're just like, I don't want to get married. So if I don't want to get married and we do want to live together, or what if this is my partner, my friend, and we start accumulating assets together? Is there anything I can do to protect myself, or what can she do?
Agreements are great, especially because they're recognized by the court. So any type of agreement that you have, we could have a cohabitation agreement. You could have an agreement that is recognized. This is what we agree to. These are our terms.
Right.
And we have thought out these terms. We reduced them to writing, and 9 times out of 10, a judge recognizes those writings.
Yeah.
So they have a guide to go by. to say what this relationship was.
Yeah.
Okay. The unfortunate thing with this particular letter is the fact that there is a mortgage and there is agreement that is 50-50.
Yeah, they got assets.
It's 50-50, which means that it's going to be really hard to force a sale. You can't really sell the property or do anything without the consent of the other party.
Yeah.
So really, she has to get the consent in order to do that. So and that's an unfortunate situation that they've accumulated these things. But if it is sold, she doesn't have to worry about her not getting that 50% though.
Yeah, yeah.
She can still get that 50%.
But he has to kind of cooperate.
And
because she said, I got a feeling that he's not going to, you know, and speaking of this topic, it reminds me of a client that I once had who she was with her boyfriend, her man, for almost 20 years.
Wow.
And maybe around year 14, 15, he started getting sick. They were an older couple. He started getting sick. They lived together. They lived in this house, beautiful home. And about maybe 4 or 5 years after he got sick, he passed away.
Wow.
And do you know, his adult children served her a 30-day eviction notice. She had 30 days to get out of that house, and she had no recourse, nothing.
That's not uncommon, and that's unfortunate. I see it all the time, and you know, I'm a practicing estate planning attorney, and I see it all the time. And my advice to my clients is it's better to have these documents and not need them.
Yeah.
And need them and you don't have them.
Yeah, I think it's prudent, it's responsible.
It is.
You know, being a financial advisor, I'm looking at it from the perspective of, did he at least have a life insurance policy where you're the beneficiary on the policy? So he did have a policy where she was the beneficiary on the policy. It wasn't anything too significant where she could pretty much start over, without, it probably would have been something that would have helped her if she was able to continue to stay in the home. But they never had the conversation, or if they had the conversation, they never moved forward with making sure the property was secure so that she could remain there. Even if those were his wishes, it wasn't written down.
Yes.
She wasn't on the deed. I think the house was already paid for, so you know what those children did.
Yes, and the unfortunate thing about it is that it could have been done so simply by, he didn't even have to put her on right now. He could have did what is called a beneficiary deed in some states, or it's called a ladybird deed.
Yeah.
Which means that you just put someone on the property just for purposes of estate planning, which means that if something happens to the individual that owns the property, and they actually own the property during the time they pass away, then that individual actually gets that home without having to go through the probate court process or any type of process. But a lot of people are afraid of that because they feel like it would affect their selling the house or things like that. But they can actually sell the house. They can do whatever they want to with the house during their lifetime. It's just an estate planning tool that says that if you own it at the time of death, then it goes to that person that you designate.
Yeah. So with that being said, we're going to call this secure the bag.
Secure the bag.
Secure the bag. Secure the bag. I don't think it is wrong for you to step out and have those conversations. Someone may say it might not be in good taste, but I think we need to be accountable because what we're doing, we're not just having fun. We're living together.
Yes.
Right?
And we're taking it that step further.
Yeah. So I want to encourage people to have the conversation.
Yes.
Have the hard conversation. You have the hard conversations now, it'll make it easier later. And you can't talk about, hey, this is what they wanted me to have. They may have said to you, baby, when you can have everything. It's all yours.
Yes.
It's not yours.
Well, put
if
it
your
on
name,
paper.
Right.
Put it on paper. That's
if
fine.
Your name,
verbal is not a contract.
Listen, I think the fact that so with this sweet lady, my client, no Social Security. Her income earning was nowhere near his. Right? And so 50% of his Social Security would have been a come up, for the time. And vice versa. If she had something that she contributed, you would want to be able to have that continuation. I mean, I'm looking at the honoring the relationship and the time of the union or whatever it is, the time together. And so I think it's an area that we just need to be educated. His pension, even with his pension, his children weren't able to be mentioned. He would have been able to add her if they had been married. Or being together for at least 10 years. Man, what a lost opportunity.
And just the quality of life, though. You don't want to go through the relationship for this long of a time and then not have the continuation of, because you're thinking that you're building something together.
Yeah.
But the devastating thing is that if something happens to that partner, or even if they're disabled.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because these documents would help, even from a disability standpoint, as far as having a power of attorney where you can make those day-to-day decisions for that person if they can't by having power of attorney. But, if you don't even have that, then you would have to go to the court to request that. Mm-hmm. And then the court looks at the fact that you're not married to this person.
Yeah.
Of course, the spouse has an automatic right, unless there's something otherwise, to even be power of attorney. So let's say the person becomes disabled.
Yeah.
And you're living there, they're becoming usually the main person that usually takes care of things, but they may have a disability policy. They may have something that they can access, but you would not even be able to access it without a power of attorney.
Right.
So that's why those documents are important.
Yeah, I hear you. And the thing that we don't plan for is the unexpected death.
That's true.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
The thing that we don't that comes with no warning, no. I was just talking with someone and I asked him to write into the show.
Okay.
I asked him to tell us his story because he was telling me how his family member is was a well-known pillar of the community, ran the courts, and no estate plan. Wow. No estate plan. And so what happens is there's all this love, there's all this sharing, but if you love me, right?
And love gives.
Yeah.
And that's the thing about it. The covering of that.
Yeah.
For all the what if.
You,
yes, it's the what if, and it is willing to share. It's willing to have those conversations, those tough conversations. That what if I'm not here? Type of thing. And then I've had clients to tell me, well, I don't want to do that because I don't want them moving some guy in this house.
Yeah. So
I don't want that to happen. So I'm not gonna leave that to her because of that. If they get remarried, I'm not gonna leave it. It's the provision in there. If they get remarried, then they don't get anything.
True.
Things like that. But just having those conversations,
so
because I advise my client
too.
Yep, I talk to my clients about it, but make sure that person is taken care of.
Yeah.
Whatever you all decide to do, make sure that person is taken care of, though. If you love that person, make sure that person is taken care of. And then having the tough conversations, if they're not willing to do it, what does that mean about your relationship?
Yeah. So okay, so let's go back. Let's go there for a minute, and let's do some role playing.
Okay. All right. Let's do it.
How do we have the tough conversation? How do you have the tough conversation? Okay, so we're not saying don't fall in love, but do it smart.
Do it smart.
So how do we bring it up? Like, hey babe, what would you say?
I would say, hey, I wanted to just have a conversation with you about some things. I know we've been doing things together, and I really am loving our time together and loving the fact that we are able to move forward in the future. You feel like we have a future?
Yeah.
So I think that as we look toward the future, I think we need to look at some things that we need to make sure that's taken care of.
Yeah.
Concerning the future.
Oh my goodness.
If you feel like we have a future, I think that
we're building something together.
I'm in agreement that we have a future.
Yeah.
So I think I need you to help me to make sure that our future is secure.
Yeah. Okay. What if he or she they don't want to talk about it. They want to keep that part of their life private. That's usually what I hear.
Yeah.
You know, especially I have people come in to, you know, for financial planning, and they say, you know, I'm married, or I got, you know, I got a significant other, but just focus on my stuff.
Okay.
Right?
Okay.
You know, just focus on my stuff. Some people are still just, you know, they're private. They don't want to share their information, and sometimes that's to the detriment. You don't realize the work you put on people you leave behind.
Oh, it's so much.
Oh, my goodness.
And it's the thing, you can either bring them peace or chaos. That's what I tell my clients.
Peace or chaos.
Peace or chaos. It's really no
chaotic.
happy medium.
Yeah.
It's really no happy medium. It's either peace or chaos. And then those are the things that, you know, and I know that they are hard conversations because, you know, that's the reason why I do a lot of the seminars and a lot of the hoping to break down a little bit of that barrier that people have, you know, with talking about those things.
Yeah.
Because, you know, most people don't want to talk about when I'm gone, what's going to happen.
Yeah. Peace or chaos. That's good. I like that. We're going to hold on to that. We're going to put a pin right there, because that is where the issues come in. Mm-hmm. Those trust issues.
The trust issues. Or what you going to do what you going to do afterwards with this money? You know, do I trust you to give it to you?
Yeah, but a person who is going through that, they're already grieving, right? And so sometimes a person who may not have all of the knowledge or information or education of what to do, they will be paralyzed.
Yes.
Or they will make the wrong decisions. Mm-hmm. There are so many times they talk about, you know, widows or widowers who they make bad financial decisions in grief.
True. That's so true.
In grief. And so, you know, and it's especially if you have children outside of your current relationship, and what you're trying not to do is disinherit your children. You're trying to make some good financial. What we're saying is plan. Do the planning.
Have those tough conversations. And I know that they're uncomfortable conversations. You know, we go into relationships. A lot of times we go into relationships and we like, I don't want to mess, as a female, I don't want to mess things up. Things are going so good.
Yeah.
I don't want to mess things up by bringing, or I don't want him to think that I'm after his money.
I'm a gold digger.
I don't want him to think
that I got trust issues.
That I got
right.
trust issues. But it's important to have those conversations.
Yeah, it's prudent.
And just to prudent to do that. And then I've found that even if it's difficult, and even because that's what relationships are about, you're not going to always agree.
Right.
You're not going to always be on the same page, but love says that I'm going to continue to love this person, even if we don't agree on certain things.
Yeah,
I'm going to continue on. So making sure that you make that decision to love this person, even if you're not agreeing with them at that time.
Yeah, I think you brought up something really important. Is same thing with marriage. You talked about the law when it comes to common law marriage and all that kind of stuff. There is a contract or an agreement or something that's going on, something that's happening here. When we move in together, we're coming into agreement. Even if it is your roommate, right? As our letter writer says here, that now we're living as roommates, and so that's how we have to look at it. Is we want to make sure that we are addressing this so that we don't end up with the short end of the stick, as they say.
That's true.
Right? So I think this is a good time for us to plug Trust Issues Podcast, right? So if you would like to share with us your questions, you need some planning, you need some financial issues addressed, or you have some legal issues that you need addressing, write into Erica and Urenia on the Trust Issues Pod. We're on Reddit. That's Trust Issues Pod.
Yes.
On Reddit, you can let us know what your questions are. All right, now back to I want to go back here real quick, because you said that if he refuses to talk with you, maybe this is your red flag, right? Maybe this is your red flag. I want to encourage us to have a team. I consider us the dream team, right? The dream team. So who do you need on your team when you are, I don't know, a professional, you're a young woman, you're a seasoned woman? Who needs to be on our team, on your team, as an individual, as a, who's on your team?
As an individual, you definitely need someone to assist you with financial planning. We have,
I know that's
I
right.
know a lot of times we have an idea of what planning is, what we need to do, and what we do not need to do. But as much information as we have, having someone on your team that's able to tell you the truth.
Yeah.
And able to look at you and tell you that you can really trust me.
Yeah.
With what you have. And I'm going to try to help you to make the best decisions concerning your finances.
Yeah.
You always need somebody on your team with that. And that's why you are so invaluable.
Amen.
Amen.
Look, I'm going to go to the word for that. I'm going to go gospel for this.
Let's go.
You need a fiduciary. You need an advocate.
Yes.
Who can speak on your behalf. And that goes not only in your finances, but also, where the worst place to show up without some help is in the courtroom.
True.
Matter of fact, the judge knows that you are not equipped to represent yourself. Even the road it took for you to get here, you need a professional in your corner. Who am I going to call? You're going to call Urenia Ricks and Associates, right?
Yes.
So you definitely want to have your financial team, your financial person on your team, your attorney on your team,
yes,
your accountant, your real estate person. And so here on the Trust Issues Podcast, throughout our shows, we're going to be bringing to you not only the latest and greatest information on topics, but some of the best professionals who are representing the industry, so that they can bring you the real information and real cases of what people are going through and how we help them navigate the terrain, right?
Yes, and it's always good to have trusted professionals around you.
Yeah.
And we know with our recommendations, when we give those recommendations about referrals and things of that nature, our clients trust our referrals.
Yeah,
they do.
Because people do business with people they know and trust. That's for real.
And so we know that sometimes over the years we have developed in our lives trust issues.
Yeah.
And we're hoping, even with our podcast, to help to bring some clarity and to help you or help individuals with their trust issues, whether it's in business, in finance, in the law. If we can provide those avenues to help with those trust issues, because we all got trust issues.
I know.
Yes.
So for those who are in long-term relationships, what's your takeaway today?
To get something in writing.
Yeah.
Try to come to some type of an agreement and to get those documents in writing, and make sure that you and your significant other have an estate plan.
All right. Have a plan.
Have a
document. All right. So have you been a forever girlfriend, or do you know someone who is going through this right now? Share this episode.
Yes,
share this podcast with them. We want to hear from you. We want to address your trust issues. All right. So don't just secure the bag. Secure yourself. Right.
Yes.
All right. So
secure your team.
Secure your team. I know that's right. Get you a good build your team. So this is Erica Hall with Erica Hall Wealth Advisors, and
this is attorney Urenia Ricks Johnson with Ricks and Associates.
And this is the Trust Issues Podcast, and we are just here to help you overcome those trust issues.